Hey everyone, Assalamualaikum. I'm Aziz Software Wali and welcome to another exciting session with Naya. Today we are going to talk about an interesting and important technology topic cloud-based software. So in today's digital world, we can access our files, applications and information from almost anywhere. Let's explore what cloud-based software is, how it's work, its benefit and how it's changing the way we use technology. So let's get started. Hello, Maya.
Oh,
How
hey.
are you? Can you
Good
hear
to
me?
Yep, loud and clear. What's on your mind today?
Okay, so Maya, today I'm going to talk about with you cloud-based softwares. Are you ready?
Cloud-based software? I'm ready. It's a good follow-up to the Office 365 talk you had since that's
Okay, so my first question is to you. What is cloud-based and how does cloud-based work?
at its basically you're just using someone else's supercomputer over the internet instead of relying on your own hardware. Imagine it like a utility, like water or electricity. You don't need a well in your backyard to get a glass of water. You just turn on the tap and it arrives from a central source. Cloud software works the same way. The heavy lifting happens on massive servers in a data center somewhere else, and you just access the results through your browser or an app. It's a huge relief since it means you don't have to worry about storage space or manually updating software every 5 minutes. Want me to dive deeper into how the data actually travels, or should we get into the different types of cloud services?
So Maya, can you please tell me why does cloud-based software use the internet? Can cloud-based software be used on mobile phone?
Think of the internet as the bridge that connects your device to the cloud. Without that connection, you'd have no way to reach those remote servers where the actual software lives. In the old days, if you wanted a program, you had to install the entire thing on your hard drive, which took up a ton of space and meant you were stuck with whatever version you had until you bought a new one. The internet completely flips that. It lets you stream the software, meaning the heavy processing happens far away and the results are beamed straight to your screen in real time. It's why you can collaborate on a document with someone across the world. Instantly, you're both just looking at the same central version of that file hosted on a server. As for your second question, absolutely. In fact, mobile phones are the perfect partners for the cloud. Since phones have way less storage and processing power than a high end desktop, the cloud does the hard work. So your battery doesn't die in 10 minutes. Whether you're scrolling through photos on iCloud, checking your email on Gmail, or using a banking app, you're using cloud software. It's what makes your mobile experience seamless because your data isn't trapped on one device. It follows you wherever you go. Want to get into the different models like SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, or maybe talk about the security side of things?
Okay, so Maya, my first question is to you. Where is data stored in cloud-based software?
You're jumping right into it today. I love it. So basically, your data isn't just sitting in one magical cloud. It's actually stored in massive physical buildings called data centers. Imagine these giant warehouses filled with rows and rows of servers, which are basically just powerful computers without screens. These centers are strategically placed all over the world, and most companies use several different locations. That way, if one building has a power outage, your stuff is still safe and accessible from another one. You're essentially renting a tiny sliver of that hardware and storage while the company manages all the technical heavy lifting in the background. Does that make sense? Or do you want to get into how they actually organize all that info?
So, Maya, thank you so much. So, Maya, can you please tell me how is data protected in the cloud and what are the main benefits of cloud-based software?
Of course. For the protection part, think of it like a digital vault with a few different layers of security. First, there's encryption. which basically scrambles your data into a secret code so that even if someone managed to sneak into the server, they just see a bunch of gibberish without the decryption key. Then you've got identity and access management, which is a fancy way of saying the cloud knows exactly who you are and what you're allowed to touch, often using things like multi-factor authentication to make sure it's actually you logging in. Finally, there are firewalls and constant monitoring, which act like digital security guards patrolling the perimeter 24/7 to spot and block any suspicious activity before it causes trouble. As for why people love cloud software, the biggest draw is definitely accessibility. You can start a document on your laptop in Islamabad and finish it on your phone while you're on the go, and everything stays perfectly in sync. Then there's scalability, which means the software grows with you. If you're a one person studio and suddenly land a huge project, you don't have to buy 5 new servers. You just slide a toggle in your settings and you've got more power instantly. Plus, it takes the headache out of updates. You never have to manually install a patch or worry about using an outdated version because the company handles all the updates in the background while you sleep. It really just lets you focus on the creative work instead of the tech logistics. Does that cover what you're looking for?
Okay, so Maya, thank you so much for your nice answer. So Maya, can you please tell me, can cloud-based software be accessed for anywhere, and how does cloud software help people work together? Can you please give me answer?
You got it. And yes, as long as you have an internet connection, you can basically access your stuff from anywhere on the planet, whether you're at home, in a cafe, or traveling. You're just logging into a portal that lets you see your files stored in those data centers. It's like having a digital backpack that follows you everywhere. As for working together, it's a total game changer for collaboration. In the old days, you'd email a document back and forth, and by the time you were on version 5, final, no one knew which one was the actual newest version. With the cloud, everyone works on one single living document in real time. You can see your teammates' cursors moving as they type, leave comments for each other, and make changes instantly. It turns a project from a game of digital telephone into a shared workspace. It's a huge relief for anyone who's ever had to deal with a messy email thread.
Can you please tell me what type of files can be stored in the cloud and what is cloud storage? Can you
Pretty much anything you can imagine, from simple notes to full-blown movie files. Most people just think of PDFs or Word docs, but it's way more versatile than that. It's great for images, spreadsheets, huge databases, and even complex configurations for websites. Do you have a specific kind of file in mind that you're wondering about?
for your nice answer? So can you please tell me how are cloud application update and can cloud-based software reduce technology cost?
I can't actually send apps or files over to you, but I can definitely help you find the best ones to try out. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by can cloud paste your new use technology, though. Do you want to try explain that one again?
So can you please tell me how do business use cloud-based software?
Oh, businesses basically live in the cloud these days. It's a huge shift. Instead of companies spending thousands on expensive hardware and IT teams to manage it, they just rent what they need. Most of the boring office stuff is there, like email and payroll, but it's also how they handle their customer data and inventory. Basically levels the playing field because a tiny startup can use the same powerful tools as a giant corporation. It's kind of wild how it's changed how offices even function.
So much, Maya. So can you please tell me how can students benefit from cloud software? How do developers create cloud-based applications? What are the passwords important for cloud software?
You're really putting me to work today. For students, it's basically a survival kit. You can collaborate on a group project in real time without anyone losing their mind over different file versions. And you don't have to panic if your laptop decides to quit on you right before a deadline because everything is backed up. It just makes the whole academic grind feel a bit more manageable. As for the developers, they build these using something called APIs, which are like digital handshakes that let different pieces of software talk to each other. They design the app to live on remote servers rather than a local drive so they can push updates to everyone instantly without the user ever having to hit a download button. And the passwords? They're the front door to everything. Since cloud data is accessible from anywhere, a weak password is like leaving your house key under the mat with a sign that says, "Come on in." That's why things like two-factor authentication are so huge now, adding that second layer of protection to make sure it's actually you and not someone halfway across the world trying to sneak in.
Oh yeah, thank you so much, Maya. So can you please tell me what is cloud security and what happens if there is no internet connection? So what as cloud-based software usually fast?
Cloud security is basically all those digital locks and alarms I mentioned earlier, working together to keep the bad guys out. It's everything from encryption and firewalls to identity checks and continuous monitoring, all focused on one goal: making sure your data is safe and private. Now, the internet part, that's the one real weakness. If your connection goes completely dark, you're usually cut off from your files because the brain of the software is sitting in a data center miles away. Some apps have a light offline mode where you can make a few changes that sync up once you're back online. But without some kind of connection, the cloud is basically just a very expensive locked door. It's for why it feels so fast. It's because those massive data centers use hardware that's way more powerful than what most of us have at home. Plus, companies use things called content delivery networks, which just means they store copies of the app in locations closer to where you actually are, so the data doesn't have to travel as far to get to your screen.
Yeah, thank you so much, Maya, for your nice answer. So can you please tell me, can cloud software work on different operating systems and can one account be used on multiple devices? Maya, can you please give me answer about this?
Actually, I have to push back on that one. The whole point of the cloud is that it doesn't care what device you're using. Whether you're on a Mac, a PC, an iPhone, or an Android, you just log in and your stuff is there. It's designed to be device agnostic, which is a fancy way of saying it works on pretty much everything.
Yeah, thank you so much, Maya, for your nice answer. So can you please tell me what is automatic synchronization and how does cloud software help business manage data?
Glad you're feeling inspired. Serialization is basically a way for the software to freeze an object, like a piece of data or a user's settings, into a format that can be stored or sent over a network. Automatic serialization just means the software handles that freezing and thawing process behind the scenes without the developer having to write the code manually every time. For businesses, the cloud manages data using massive, organized systems that can handle millions of requests a second. They use things like load balancers to make sure no single server gets overwhelmed and automatic backups so that a single glitch doesn't wipe out a company's entire history. It's a huge operation, but you just see a loading spinner for a second.
Maya, can you please tell me how can team collaborate using cloud applications? Can you please give me long?
I know I just touched on this a bit, but it's honestly the best part of the cloud. Think of it as turning a project into one big shared conversation instead of a game of digital telephone. In the old days, you'd email a document, wait for a reply, and end up with 5 different versions labeled final V2, actual final. It was a total nightmare. With cloud apps, everyone works on a single living document at the same time. You can see your teammates' cursors dancing across the screen, leave comments for a quick sanity check, and make changes that everyone sees instantly. Plus, there's a
Okay, so viewers, I minded this session. This is Maya. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for you learned that cloud-based software make it easy to access applications and information from digital places and devices. So cloud technology is an important part of our digital future, and learning about it can help us understand the technology we use every day, and keep learning, keep exploring, and keep innovating. Thank you so much.